I'm starting a campaign to force the ACLU to sue the entire American legal industry in a class action. Join me. Line 40 of the Magna Carta reads, "To none will we sell, to none deny or delay right or justice." This was written in 1215, over 800 years ago. But today in America, it's still a broken promise, a basic human right denied to most citizens on a daily basis. Rachel Siegel of the Washington Post just reported that the Chipotle restaurant chain just made an $8 million payout to an ex-employee for falsely accusing her of stealing $636. But this ex-employee's salary was $72,000 a year. She could afford the extortionist fees demanded by the American legal system. But what about the tens of millions of American poor and middle class who have similar or even better cases than this, who are denied legal representation because they can't afford it? I have a case right now easily worth $250,000 against my landlord. This landlord is guilty of fraud, breach of contract, and other things, causing me a severe degree of mental stress and anguish, and a high degree of psychological pain. See my video Equalism 119 for the details. But the DA's office refuses to take action, prejudicially saying landlord criminal fraud is a landlord-tenant dispute. But I can't get any goddamn lawyer to even speak to me because I'm poor. So what can a citizen do when law enforcement won't enforce the law and lawyers won't even talk to you about a civil suit? My previous landlord extorted 50 grand from me and my parents, but the cops and lawyers denied me my right to access the legal process then too. I was again denied my right to file criminal charges or sue. See my video Equalism 110 for the details on that. I have legitimate lawsuits against the student loan program, Medicare, countless doctors, Kern County Public Transit, and Los Angeles County, among many others. But I'm repeatedly denied my right to legal representation, law enforcement action, and access to the American legal process. Over the past 25 years, I've had probably as many as 35 legitimate lawsuits and criminal complaints I've been denied the right to file because goddamn lawyers, DAs, and cops refuse to represent the poor. I should be a millionaire many times over by now, but I remain in poverty because the legal industry continues to discriminate against me because I'm poor. I know for a fact tens of millions of American poor and even the middle class have been subjected to the same legal industry discrimination as me. One of the biggest problems we American poor face is that the legal industry uses our poverty as an excuse to deny us our constitutionally protected right to legal due process, which is guaranteed in the 7th and Section 1 of the 14th Amendments. Not to mention that the right to be protected and defended from the predatory acts of others is a fundamental purpose of any legitimate government and is a recognized essential element of human rights. Since the law makes it illegal to take matters into our own hands, for the government to deny its most vulnerable citizens legal recourse gives the predators and victimizers of society license to abuse and prey on us at will. In fact, the predators victimize the poor because they know the poor won't be protected by the legal industry or law enforcement. They know we poor have absolutely nowhere to turn to seek justice, and the predators take full advantage of this fact. So this is America, where the predators reign and the cops, lawyers, and politicians not only let them, but often join them. So I'm starting a campaign to force the ACLU to sue this entire legal industry in a class action. Join me. I sent the following email to the Southern California office of the ACLU. My last three landlords have committed serious crimes against me, and the American Bar Association, the California Bar Association, all legal aid societies, the District Attorney of LA and Kern Counties, and law enforcement have all denied me my right to legal protections because I'm poor. My right to file criminal charges and civil suits is denied me at every turn. This is an ongoing crime that affects tens of millions of poor Americans on a daily basis. It needs to end now. We demand the ACLU file both criminal and civil suits against the U.S. government, the U.S. Justice Department, and the U.S. Attorney General, and every state, and the Justice Department and Attorney General of every state, the American Bar Association and the Bar Association in every state, and all legal aid societies, all district attorney offices, and the entire legal industry in the class action suit for denying the poor their human and constitutional rights to legal protections, legal representation, and access to the legal process. Contact me immediately to get this class action started. I've had it. I'm goddamn fed up with being victimized over and over and having no legal recourse to protect myself. I think it's best we all send our demands to the same ACLU chapter. So email the Southern California chapter of the ACLU today. Use my email as a template if you wish. Let's inundate the ACLU with this demand. They give illegals more attention than they do the American poor. Let's demand our goddamn rights. Join me. Let's fight for once instead of just complain. Everyone on Medicare, food stamps, in the student loan program, or who's been denied their right to file criminal complaints or civil suits for lack of money, or who've been denied legal aid, or forced to use court self-help centers, or file or respond to small claims actions on their own in the last 35 years, are automatically plaintiffs in this class action. Anyone in the last 35 years who's been harmed through the lack of legal representation due to its unaffordability is a plaintiff in this class action. The idea isn't to make poor people rich, but to stop the predators from taking advantage of their knowledge that the poor and middle classes are defenseless, vulnerable, and easy targets for their predation. When society's predators know their victims can fight back, they'll stop preying on us at every opportunity. The result will be fewer criminal charges and civil lawsuits, not more, because we'll have fewer reasons to seek legal protections. In other words, we'll have less predation to be protected from. We're talking about enforcing the laws that already exist. And we're talking about changing only the unwritten law that allows law schools to charge astronomical prices, which in turn gives lawyers the excuse to demand astronomical prices for their services. Lawyers can no longer be allowed to offer their services only as a privilege to those who can afford it. As children, we're forced to take the Pledge of Allegiance every day. It's damned time that our country we pledge our allegiance to honor its part of the contract and finally enforce liberty and justice for all. Send links to this video at every opportunity. Let's make this video go viral. Let's make some noise and get something done for once that helps us all. Copy this email from the text below and email it to the ACLU link provided. Also, it wouldn't hurt to notify the major and alternative news sources of this campaign. Let's get this damned revolution started. And remember, always resist, refuse, revolt,